Today, the topic of our discussion will be truss structure. Although we have studied a bit what a truss is in our previous lecture, where we discussed about the log span structures, but here in this lecture we are going to study truss structure in a bit more detail, especially the roof truss structures. So just going through quickly that what is a truss, that it is composed of cylindrical members joined at their end points and they necessarily form a triangle, and a truss is composed of multiple triangles. This shape gives the building more support and allows the builder to use fewer materials to achieve the same function. Types of trusses. Different truss types can be categorized by their design, by their function, or the material they are made up of. For example, we have prefabricated wooden trusses just like this that we use for the residential construction, and then we have units made out of steel or other metals which we use for the commercial purpose, for commercial buildings and to build bridges. So this is an example of a steel truss that we have that the designer have used for a bridge construction. So basically we have two types of basic truss. One is planar truss. Planar truss is the one where we have all the members of the truss lie in only two-dimensional space, just like as shown in these pictures. For example, bicycle frame or roofing. So all of these trusses are 2D. And then we have a 3D truss, which we call space truss. And for a space truss, all the members of a truss extend into 3 dimensions. For example, these bridges, and this is a very common example that you see in your daily life. This is the metal pylon tower, and it is used to support high voltage wiring. Advantages of truss structures: first of all, very quick installation, and it's very cost effective at the same time because we do not use very heavy equipment to lift the truss into its place, and most of these trusses are factory built and they are delivered to the job site as a complete set, and then we just install these truss set as it is to build the structure. Then increased span. Obviously, these triangular objects actually allow us to cover a longer horizontal distance, where if we had used a normal square-sided roof, it would maybe shift or twist, but these triangular ones, the trusses, they have the ability to maintain their shape and they do not shift and they do not sag at all. So they are best cost-effective structure that we can use for a longer span. Load distribution, another advantage of this truss structure, that the shape of triangle is such that it allows all of the weight applied to the sides, which are actually the legs, and to be redistributed down away from the center. So in trusses, this type of arrangement actually transfers the entire weight of the roof to the outer walls. This gives us a larger interior span, and then we can actually move the interior walls wherever we wish to, or even we can omit them. Okay, so next is accessibility. As already discussed before, that the bottom of the truss actually provide us enough space where we can install our HVAC systems or electric or any kind of utility applications we can install there. And when it comes to our residential product, this central void caused by the truss system is generally the attic of a home, so it's fairly accessible. Now let's talk about in detail what are the roof trusses. So a roof truss is a structural unit that is designed to frame a roof and to support the roof material. It also give a nice interior ceiling. It also provides a space for the insulation and it also takes away the loads that are caused by either wind, snow or rain. And a roof truss is always supported by the exterior walls and span the width of the building. So if this is the picture of a common roof truss, and this would be the total span of the house, and this truss will be supported here at the exterior ends, which will form the exterior wall of the building. Now there are different components of a roof truss. So this kind of regular triangular shaped trusses, these are the very common ones, and they are used for the roof construction, and they have various components to it. So we have overhang, plumb cut, wall plate, bottom chord, brand rings, splice, joints, purlins, top chords, nail plate webs, etc., etc. So let's study in detail what are these components. First of all is wall plate, or we also call it bearing. This is the first timber to be placed. It's always horizontal and it's placed at top of the external walls. Structural support of trusses usually walls normally with a timber wall plate. Okay, so here is the wall plate or bearing. So what we do is that once we have constructed these exterior walls, the first thing we place on these exterior wall is this wall plate or bearing. Next is tie beam or a bottom chord, almost same as the wall plate. It's not placed on the wall. It's most time 4 feet apart, purposely used for the placement of ceiling. Horizontal along the spacing of the building, the tie beam is placed after the wall plate. So after the wall plate, we get the tie beam. So where is the tie beam here? Here it is. So this is the tie beam. This beam is actually connecting one wall plate to another wall plate. So after we have placed this tie beam, the next step is to place this bottom chord. Rafter or top chord. The rafter is in slant form, always from one edge of the wall plate to another, all meeting at the top of the key post. It's also most time 4 feet apart. So these are the top chords. The next thing that we place after the bottom chord are these rafters, or we also call them top chords. So we always have, for one single truss, we have 2 top chords laid in an inclined position to make a triangle. Webs, members that join the top and bottom chords to form a triangle pattern. These webs, these are the webs. These webs are comparatively thinner than the top chord and bottom chords, and these webs they actually connect the top chord to the bottom chord. Purlins or buttons, they are always been the last, and they are put horizontally across the rafter, which is most time 3 feet apart. These are the purlins as shown in the picture, and the distance between these purlins is minimum 3 feet. They should be 3 feet apart. The next is apex. Yes, this is the highest point where the sloping top chord meets. This point, this is the apex. This is the highest point where these two rafters meet. Cantilever, part of structural member that extends beyond its support. It is also called overhang. So this is the cantilever, this part, because it is extending a little bit more beyond its support. So this is the support and this is the cantilever. Clear span, horizontal distance between interior edges of support. These are the supports. So this is actually the interior. So this is the interior dimensions, clear span, and the nominal span that we count is from the point where the wall plate or bearing starts, from this point till this point. Heel, point on a truss which top and bottom chord intersect. So the intersection where both top chords meet is called apex, and the point where the top chord intersect the bottom chord is called heel. So this point is called heel. Joints, point of intersection of one or more webs with the chord. These are the joints, or we also term them as knots. These are the points where the webs are joining either the top chord or the bottom chord. Nail plate, Galvanized steel plate punched to form a nail pattern integral with the plate and used to connect the timber members. This is the nail plate, the blue one. So wherever we have a joint, we are actually providing a nail plate to make a connection between two members. Overhang, it is the same extension of the top chord of a truss beyond the bearing support. This is the overhang. Overhang and cantilever is the same. Now we have a number of roof trusses. All of these are roof trusses, and based upon their shape, we have named them separately, and some of these are used for residential projects, some for commercial, and some we use for industrial building construction. Of course, the trusses which we use for industrial building construction, they are usually the ones which provide us the maximum clear span, horizontal clear span. Each of this type has its own specific design considerations. They have their own advantages and disadvantages. So here we will be talking about some most popular roof trusses that are widely used, which are king post truss, queen post truss, hove truss, fan truss, north light roof truss, attic roof truss, and scissors roof truss. Okay, Ji. The most easiest one is the mono pitch truss. This is also a type in which we have only one rafter, one top rafter, top chord, and it is a right angle truss used to form lean two roofs or single pitched roofs. So it's mono pitch truss is also called single pitched roofs. And the other one, we have a double pitch truss, which is the normal triangular truss. And this kind of truss, this one is actually used to create different types of roof pitches, whether in commercial buildings or in industrial areas, and sometimes we use these buildings in homes too. So king post truss. King post truss looks like this. This is the central vertical post used in architectural working intention to support a beam below from a truss apex. Okay, what happens in a truss structure is that these members, the ones top chord and central vertical post, or the web members, they are all those members which take the compression of the load. And this bottom chord, this is the member that actually takes the tension provided by the load. So this truss usually spans up to 27 feet, which makes it perfect for multiple types of houses, especially smaller ones, because we can only use one king post truss to cover the entire area of a house. Then we have queen post truss. So see, queen post truss has got two more members. It's a very reliable, simple, and a versatile type of roof truss where we can use it at any given time. And this time, this kind of truss offers a span of 33 feet. So you see the span has increased from 27 feet to 33 feet, like for king post to queen post. That is because by just adding these two extra structural members, so they are taking more load, therefore the span has increased. Next one is hove truss. So in hove truss, in addition to the queen truss, we have added two more members, these two. So this is the kind of truss having upper and lower members, a combination of steel and wood or both. We can use either steel or wood or a combination of both these materials. One thing that makes this truss extraordinary is that it gives us a very wide span, and it can cover anything between 20 to 100 feet. So this is a very useful type of truss by just the addition of these two members. The next type of truss is fan truss. So this truss is characterized by the radiating lines of the king post and attached struts, or of the queen post and attached struts. It can be used for a span of 33 feet to 50 feet. Then we have north light roof truss. These type of roof trusses are very useful and common where we just wish to have light coming from the north side. They look like this, but they are placed in this pattern. So this is the place where we put glass and the light can come in from here. So in north light roof truss, we have a set of lattice girders that includes support trusses. So this is a lattice girder. North light truss is the oldest and it's one of the most economical kind of truss that we have. These are found in industrial buildings, drawing rooms, and large spaces with a span of 65 to 100 feet. So as mentioned earlier, that the short vertical side of the truss, this side, it's always glazed so that when the roof is used in the northern hemisphere, this portion can face the north and the interior space receives the best light. Attic roof truss. So an attic truss is a type of roof truss with an open space at its bottom. So this is the pattern of this truss. It's an equilateral triangle with the members over here, here and here are supporting this truss. This open space at the bottom of this attic roof truss, it actually accommodates maybe a living space. Basically in smaller houses, this living space is called attic. That's why it is termed as the attic roof truss. It has webbing all around its three sides. And this type of truss is very commonly used for houses construction because its span is from 16 to 20 feet only. Then we have a scissors roof truss. The shape well defines the name. It is the kind of truss that is primarily used in buildings in which bottom chord member cross each other. So basically there are two bottom chord members here, 1 and 2. There is an intersection point over here and they are connecting to the angled top chords at a point intermediate on the top chord's length, creating an appearance similar to an open pair of scissors. So this kind of roof truss can span up to only 30 feet. So this is all about the roof trusses. Let me know in the meet session if you have got any questions. I will answer. Okay, thank you.